1, 2, 3, 4. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on.
This doesn't look like the basement. Actually, we've moved on up 2 floors.
That's why it's so bright, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right. We're in our new location, which, really, it's a blue background. It can be anywhere.
That's right.
But it's not just
It
anywhere.
could be in your living room. But no,
No.
we are at Remax Platinum
Yes, we
in
are.
Brighton.
Right off Grand River, kitty corner to Rollerama.
Right near the thrift store.
But yes, so Jordan Genso, of course, very generously offering us some space here. And, of course, he's our show sponsor.
Yes, he is. And we've got a lot going on today for our once-a-week edition, officially kicking off just on Fridays, the podcast with Mike and John and Cougar. And we're brought to you by, of course, Jordan Genso. We've got local news coming up in just a few minutes. And what we'll do for the news is kind of the big stories of the week. Then we'll have our guest, which today it's going to be Jordan. We're going to talk about real estate and other fun things. We'll get to the answer to our trivia question from last night. Can't do them all in one night,
No.
So we'll check out Thursday night trivia. We've got the great Bonnie Runberg joining. Runberg.
Wow.
Runyan.
We have changed.
She doesn't know it yet.
Yeah.
We changed her last name.
No.
The great Bonnie Runyan. Rich Perlberg from the road.
Yes, he will be on location.
At a cheap, sleazy hotel.
Well, some people may think that after what happened there last weekend.
Rates have gone down.
So, yes, we'll be talking with him in a little bit about the great smackdown that occurred in Clare.
And he'll give us a run. The great smackdown in Clare. There's going to be a movie about
It's the
soon.
flare in Clare.
Things are really flared up, yes. And other things coming your way this morning. Shall we get it underway?
Let's do it.
All right, news brought to you by our friends at Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton.
All right, so big stories this week had to do with candidates officially announcing for office. Former Democratic State Senator Curtis Hertel Jr. of East Lansing Monday morning announcing he was running for the U.S. House seat, being vacated by Alyssa Slotkin. That followed a formal campaign announcement the night before from former Republican State Senator Tom Barrett of Charlotte. Hertel and Barrett are each seeking their respective parties' nomination to represent Michigan's 7th Congressional District, a swing seat in mid-Michigan that includes all of Livingston County. Slotkin announced in January she'd be running for U.S. Senate in 2024, targeting an open seat held by Senator Debbie Stabenow, who's retiring. Barrett previously served 2 terms in the Michigan House between 2015 and 2018 and a term in the state Senate from 2019 to 2022. He unsuccessfully ran against Slotkin last year in an expensive race that totaled more than $26 million in campaign spending. Hertel, meanwhile, served in the state Senate from 2015 to 2022, and after leaving his Senate seat, he then served as Governor Gretchen Whitmer's legislative director before resigning at the end of June. That prompted speculation he'd launch a congressional campaign. Slotkin furthered along that speculation, which he touted Hertel as a potential successor during an event in Livingston County. Following his campaign announcement, Slotkin then formally announced that she was supporting Hertel to take her seat. Meanwhile, Slotkin herself learned that she has a new competitor for the Democratic nod to U.S. Senate. Hill Harper, an actor from The Good Doctor, a Detroit business owner and resident, announced his intention to run for U.S. Senate as a Democrat, joining an increasingly crowded field. Harper, an Iowa native, purchased a home in Detroit in 2016 and a coffee shop in the city in recent years. On the Democratic side, Slotkin, Michigan Board of Education President Pamela Pugh, former State Representative Leslie Love, businessman Nasser Beydoun, and attorney Zach Burns are also running. Several Republicans have also declared. Nikki Snyder, a member of the State Board of Education from Dexter, attorney Alexandria Taylor, who's represented Michigan GOP Chair Christina Caramo, former Berrien County Commissioner Ezra Scott, and Michael Hoover, who used to work for Dow Chemical. Former U.S. Representative Mike Rogers, a Republican who was formerly from Howell but now lives in Florida, is also interested in running. Per Politico, Rogers, who served in the U.S. House from 2001 to 2014 and represented the district that Slotkin was elected to in 2018, has been also considering a presidential bid, although he has been critical of former President Donald Trump. Other Republicans weighing a Senate run are John Tuttle, vice chair of the New York Stock Exchange, and former Representative Peter Meyer of Grand Rapids. And the debate over safe space stickers and pride flags once again causing controversy in Livingston County. The Fowlerville Board of Education is considering a policy that would effectively ban only displays that are not content neutral. A similar policy was recently adopted by Heartland Consolidated Schools, wherein the Board of Education determined that any media, including signs, posters, stickers, and flags, other than the American and Michigan flags, depicting any social and or political causes unrelated to the daily curriculum shall not be allowed in schools, unless the media items are for the classroom discussion. Fowlerville's proposal would only permit displays of the American flag, current school flag, temporary classroom displays pertaining to a specific unit of study, and as well tournament displays for sports teams. All of the speakers during the call to the public at Tuesday's meeting were in vehement opposition to the proposal, many calling it a targeted act of discrimination against LGBTQ plus students. A veteran teacher and the advisor for Fowlerville High School's Umbrella Club, Alicia Zemper, noted that the decision should not be a political one, rather one centered around the needs of students, noting that teachers have been focused on student safety and engagement, and that 41% of LGBTQ plus youth have considered suicide, adding that displaying a rainbow flag is the least we can do. Trustee Diana Dombrowski was the sole member of the board to vocally condemn the policy, saying it was a solution for a problem that doesn't exist. She said to her knowledge there have been no complaints from parents or students over the flags, safe space stickers, or any type of display. Board Treasurer John Belcher attempted to clarify that, his reasoning being that allowing student organizations to put up displays would open the door for abuse. His example was that if someone wanted to put up a Confederate flag, they'd be allowed to do that. Although that scenario, which has been frequently invoked in these debates, is really a straw man argument. The Supreme Court has already ruled that schools have the right to prohibit divisive content, like the Confederate flag, if it can be factually demonstrated that would lead to disruptions in the educational environment and not just a mere desire to avoid unpleasantness. A second and final reading of the Fowlerville Board's proposal will be presented at their next meeting on July 18th. And those are some of the bigger stories going on this week.
And news brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton, and they ask you to help them provide needed toys and gifts to C.S. Mott's Children's Hospital and Make-A-Wish Michigan children. Now is the time to make those donations. Their needs of stuffed animals, small stuffed animals, silly socks for tweens and teens, other items for teens, and small baby toys that light up, small distraction items like pop fidgets and stress balls, those types of things. You can get the list from Cooper and Binkley Jewelers. Check out their Facebook page. There's also a link if you want to order from Amazon and dedicate either Make-A-Wish or C.S. Mott's Children's Hospital. So trying to make a difference as they always do. Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton, not just another jewelry store, a community partner. Okay, so today here from RE/MAX Studios. How about that? We're in the RE/MAX Studios.
Oh, all right.
I kind of like that.
You know,
I don't know if Jordan's going to let us call it that or not. The RE/MAX
there's not
Platinum
much you can
Studio.
do about it now.
I already did. didn't I?
You know, we were looking at some locations here. RE/MAX has a lovely property, lots of venues that we could use, and one place we looked at was right on the porch.
Yeah.
There's these lovely rocking chairs.
For a second, I thought I was at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah,
But it wasn't.
we could sit there and
Make sure all
We
pancakes.
did kind of reminisce a little bit, so it was kind of like two old guys in rockers out front.
So no, but we opted for the
our studio,
our
that which we
studio
are in.
space,
Yes.
as they say.
And
as we say.
Speaking of Jordan Genso, show sponsor, he's lingering outside the door, so we should probably
Should
invite
we
him in.
bring him in and not
bring
let
him
him
in.
linger any
Yeah,
longer?
get the page to bring in Jordan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's
Page.
welcome Jordan Genso
All right.
to the show. Can I get a hoodoo?
Okay. Well,
Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks so much for all you've put into the effort to get us into a different location. I think this is going to be great, opening up some opportunities for us to have guests in the studio instead of a basement.
And absolutely, but I did want to clarify one thing, because, I mean, this is not my office, this is not my building. I am a matchmaker. That is what I do in real estate. It's what I've done for you guys. You know, I approached my manager and the broker, and my broker, Joe DeKrube, he knows the value of what we do in real estate in serving the community and looking to build the community, and you know that's what you guys do with your show, and so it just made a ton of sense that okay, yeah,
I thought we were dealing with the top dog here.
I am not.
Should we get Joe?
Maybe we need to talk to Joe.
So are you here to collect the rent? Is that what's... No, we appreciate that. Thank you for the clarification, obviously. But we appreciate you making that pairing possible.
The matching. Yes.
And so, and as we've explained, our goal here is to be more publicly accessible and have more guests join us live, and so we can have sort of face-to-face conversations. And so, you'll be that first face-to-face person.
Okay. I can set that low bar for all future guests.
I'm glad you said that. So we're at RE/MAX Platinum, of course, as you said, many realtors located here.
Yes.
But in terms of the real estate market, I often see, it seems like different headlines. Sometimes it's the market's hot, it's slow, it's going to fall, it's going to rise, there's a bubble, there's not a bubble. I mean, from your perspective, when it comes to the real estate market, and so much in the economy is tied to real estate, where do you see it going?
I still think that the real estate market, it is not anything I'm bearish about at all, because there is still the lack of inventory. As long as supply is not growing at an outward pace beyond the demand, then prices have continued to rise, albeit not as outrageously as years previous, and you are still seeing bidding wars is a common thing, but again, it's scaled back a little bit where in order to win the bidding war, you don't have to offer them, everything and your firstborn child in order to get your offer accepted.
Well, for a while, it was crazy with the way people were outbidding and perhaps going way over the value of the home or the land.
It was concerning to me. I was not a huge fan of the market the previous couple years where the buyers were being asked to take on a ton of risk and, overpaying and, waiving inspections or doing whatever taking on all of the risk burden in order to get their offer accepted. I didn't think that that's a healthy market. Right now, no, it's a little bit more balanced. Yes, the price you still may need to, offer above what the list price is, but not outrageously so.
Well, and the things you notice, like foregoing inspections,
Right.
Those are in place for a reason.
Yes, yes. And it's something that I've never in my life, wanted a client to waive an inspection contingency, because that is just a risk I'm not comfortable letting them, take on, because there's so many things that can be uncovered in an inspection that can be tens of thousands of dollars. And so to make an offer on a property, not knowing if one of those, worst case scenarios may be part of it that you just don't know of until you do the inspection, you need to have that information before you get to the closing table and take ownership.
Now, we've appreciated the last couple months here, you've been focusing on downtown Brighton businesses, and, putting your money where your mouth is. I mean, coming up with all these gift certificates for various businesses as they're trying to deal with the streetscape. We just heard in the last 24 hours about Genopolis.
Yes.
They're not saying for sure they're going to close, but it doesn't look good, we'll put it that way.
Both Genopolis and Total Cluster Fudge, I saw.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Yeah.
Don't say that again.
You heard it right.
Both of them, yes, I saw photos on social media that they had a sign in their window as well, that they're, and I mean, they are struggling so much downtown. I know Genopolis, they had temporarily also tried that rebranding for the cowgirl.
Do you think
dancing.
that's something that may have led to where they're at now, if they would have stuck as just Genopolis? Or
I think there was a reason they did the switch over to, they were doing maybe a Hail Mary because they had seen what trajectory they were on, and they, in order to avoid this outcome of having to close, in large part due to the streetscape project, they maybe needed to give people a new reason to specifically seek them out, and so a rebranding and a new service with the line dancing, that made sense to me as to, them giving people more than just, come to this restaurant that you've already been to many times, hey, come try something new as well. I thought actually it made sense for them to attempt it, but it apparently didn't succeed.
Could have been the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But I think you're right. It probably, I mean, we can't say for sure, but I mean, it did seem like a bit of a Hail Mary, which I guess when you're going to do anything you can to try and keep your business, in operation. And it's a shame to see that because it was such a great restaurant. I mean, I used to live in Farmington Hills, and Giannopolis was great. And when they came to Brighton, it was like, oh, this is awesome. And they, it's great, still great food, love to go there. But these businesses are struggling.
Yeah, they had my two daughters, it was their favorite kids meal on Main Street was at Giannopolis with the little pretzel balls and all that.
Are they here?
They're currently around the corner.
Okay.
Too far away.
Should we? You don't think so?
Yeah, I'll.
Okay. Because they
Were
made
supposed to
clear
be bringing us treats.
in the days of, as we were setting up our studio here. They made clear that they were going to be on this show.
Good for them.
They make a lot of demands.
That's
that
my
don't
kind of girl. They're on the right path.
There you go.
But the businesses downtown that I'm really concerned about are the ones that are brand new, like Captain's on Main, and Sidecar Slider Bar, the ones that opened up during this process effectively. Captain's I think opened up last fall,
Right.
but it's like they hadn't even had a chance to get established before entering this environment where you just don't see the foot traffic and all of that. That is what allowed other Main Street businesses to at least gain their initial
Well, and at least
base.
maintain where they're at, but as
Yeah.
you said, the newer businesses, it's tough.
Now, in terms of the real estate market, I mean, so if you're showing clients around Brighton right now and they see all this construction, but I would imagine you're looking more like, hey, once this is done, this is going to be beautiful.
Yes, because I am a fan of what it is going to become. I think that I had attended some of the early meetings when they were just getting the design process underway, and I was a little bit concerned because the initial drawing had like a island all the way down the middle of Main Street for the entirety of it, and my feedback, and it was originally just like, how are you going to have a parade with this island all the way down and so it was clear that the original design wasn't from local people who really understood the uses of Main Street, but the final product of what's been designed, I think, is going to result in a much better downtown experience and walkability, and just really be something that attracts people to come downtown, and definitely help out the businesses that have been able to survive during this interim period.
Right. We appreciate how you've teamed up with us to do just that, to support the local businesses in downtown Brighton. And again, we appreciate you being the matchmaker to getting us here at RE/MAX Plaza.
Matchmaker, make me.
I appreciate you getting me out of John's basement.
John's family appreciates that too. This sounds like a rescue operation.
I have clients right now that are currently in a basement trying to get out.
Hey, my basement wasn't that bad. It's carpet on. Finished. My teenage kid moved out years ago. There was still a bit of that
It wasn't even good enough for you? There was a teenage funk that really kind of lingered for a while. I don't know. Jordan, is there a cure for that? Is there like baking soda or what?
Actually, that's an interesting tip if you are going to show a house and there's like a funk.
Oh yeah.
What's your odorant choice?
Even if you have company coming over, how about if there's a funk?
I definitely recommend hiring a professional home cleaner.
Okay.
Ooh, that was
Do you know anybody that does that, Susan?
That was smooth. I didn't even see that coming.
Yeah.
She'd have to
Thank
charge
you.
double it, John.
All right, so let's ask Susan. What's your deodorant of choice?
To get the funk out,
you're like, whoa.
So a trick that I learned is you put cinnamon in your vacuum
Really?
Oh wow.
and vacuum, and it kind of spreads throughout the rooms as you're...
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they sell things like that,
Right.
deodorizers
Yeah.
or whatever to put in your vacuum, but if you just put ground cinnamon in it, it's a wonderful smell and it works great.
Very clever. I'd never heard of that.
Jordan will be walking around with a little cinnamon thing.
Stick around for more tips.
Before showing.
Or as you're walking through the house.
A little behind.
What is he sprinkling in our house?
Smells like cinnamon. All right, it's time to check out some of the answers from last night's trivia.
I think before we
have
do,
visitors.
we've got to bring our two youth ambassadors
Are they
in.
here?
You want to go?
I will go
corral
grab them,
Yeah,
yes.
why don't you go corral them? And so they were very adamant.
So you're letting kids dictate how the show's going to go now?
Why would this
Is
be
that
any
what-
different than my entire life?
All right.
You know, so.
All right, that's not on the little
I don't
agenda.
see
I'm
that.
sorry, that's
It's
not on
it.
the-
You said, you know what, we need to follow
All
a
right,
plan.
girls.
We got to do this right. We can't be just flying by the seat of our pants.
All right.
And let's welcome the girls now.
All right, let's, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Cora.
All right.
I'm Stella.
All right, Cora and
Laura
Stella.
and Stella.
Now-
Hi, girls.
Hello, welcome, by the way. Now.
Thank you for helping us set up earlier.
Yeah,
You guys
we
moved the
appreciate-
desks
we appreciate
off,
your
so
help.
it was a lot.
So, one thing that you were very adamant about that we have made a part of our show is how we say your dad's number on the show, the phone number that we call. Was that not your
It
your
was.
doing?
It was.
Right.
And Cora, why was that?
I don't know.
Well, that's as
You
good as
wanted
any.
it to
This
stand out
just
a little
sounded
more?
good, huh?
All right.
Yeah.
So the number, by the way, if you want to contact Jordan Genso, community serving community realtor, who is our show sponsor, by the way. See how
Oh,
that's it?
thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
What's that number, Cora?
248-444-9777.
Right now, we.
Now, wait a minute. I don't know if Stella knows that number.
Yeah. Stella, do you know the
Do you know
number?
that number?
248-444-9777.
Right now,
You know a little quicker.
our training would have us say 9777.
Oh, heck no.
But you weren't having that. No. Okay. So it's 248-444-9777, and why don't you tell us which one of us three is your favorite host? It's the one that brought you on.
I don't know.
Yeah, let's go, Susan.
Susan.
That's the same bet.
Girl power. All right.
Girls stick together.
All right. Well, Stella and Cora, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for helping us set up our space. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, you did a great job.
All right. Good job. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, and
welcome.
what's the best in the snack room you got over there? What's the best snack?
What's your favorite snack?
Fruit by the foot.
Fruit by the
with
foot?
Yeah.
Ah, we'll have to grab some then.
By the foot. Wow.
All right, well, thank you, girls.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Welcome.
it. All right.
All right. Thank you much.
In Thursday night trivia last night, brought to you by our OG sponsor, Firehouse Store, serving Livingston County for over 25 years with unparalleled service and products. And we appreciate all their support throughout the year and a half plus that we've been doing the podcast. 15% of us do this about once a week. 43% do it 2 to 4 times a week, and 28% almost daily. What is it? Did I send you guys the answer?
No. I was just.
I pretty much. I thought I
didn't
did,
look.
didn't
And I was like.
I got it.
Oh,
See, Susan got it.
I got it.
I must have deleted your email.
Touche.
If that's how it's going to be.
So a lot of numbers thrown at you on this. 15% do this about once a week. 43 do it 2 to 4 times. 28% almost daily. What is it? Some of the great answers, of course, chores or laundry came into being. Buying lottery tickets. I think that's wide open now, if I'm not mistaken. The millions that are available now.
I don't think you sent it to me.
He's still on that.
Is that what you're researching right now?
And we're moving along.
I don't see it.
Well, maybe I just sent it to Susan.
I guess
She's
so.
my favorite too.
I guess.
I know the answer.
Fine.
I know the answer.
Nobody got the answer correct.
Oh, because you didn't send it to them either.
No, I didn't. But there was going out to lunch, exercising, a lot of great answers that had to do with things around the house. It did have to do with food.
Okay. Well, now,
Susan.
no wonder you didn't send it to me.
Susan, what was the answer?
Microwaving something.
Yes, microwaving leftovers, or planned-overs, as our friend the great Foodini used to call them.
See, 28% daily, I find that to be low. That's low.
I want to thank
I
Brad for
don't know.
checking
I
in.
rarely use it.
The microwave for reheating?
Yeah.
On occasion.
I mean, for
Popcorn.
That's
right.
not really
I use
reheating,
popcorn.
though, is it? All right.
so
No.
it's strictly for
Oh,
For
reheating.
reheating,
okay.
Okay. I didn't know if that was for any purpose.
By the way, our friend Brad, who we haven't heard from in a while, actually sent a picture of a record, and it was Play Blind Melon's No Rain. So that was not it either, but Brad hasn't checked in with the Blind Melon reference in a long time. So we appreciate that,
Yeah.
Brad.
When I first saw this picture,
Did you think it was side 2 of Led Zeppelin 4?
no. It's the best album ever. Actually, if you look at it, it looks like bean dip.
Only from you.
I was like,
hey, that looks like some kind
that
of
looks
dip.
like good bean dip. And then I'm like, oh, it's a record label.
Got a little cayenne powder in there, maybe it's cinnamon. To
I
make
was
it
like, well, see, look. I mean, the white is like the
it's the boil.
the sour
Nobody else
cream,
can see that.
and then the red is like your salsa.
He's gone off on a
and then that's like your refried beans over there.
Maybe we should just
And then-
I think
continue
we know.
with
Let's see what Rich is doing at that hotel in Clare. Rich Perlberg with the Less You Know. Of course, we usually do this on Thursdays, but being that the show has changed over to Fridays, let's see if we can get a hold of Rich. I don't even know if they have cell service where he's at.
They not only have cell service. I'm here. I'm here, gentlemen.
There he is.
Excellent.
All right.
Yay.
So,
All right, why don't you?
I am in the room where it happened. in
That's
Clare,
right.
Michigan.
So yeah, give a quick summary
You're
real
at the
quick.
Doherty Hotel, correct?
I am at the Hotel Doherty.
Or Hotel
Yes.
Doherty. Sorry. Yeah. And when you say the room where it happened, why don't you lay out what happened in this room?
Well, this is where the Republicans. Which Republican fight are we talking about? The
Yes.
Saturdays or the one 3 months ago? But they're both. I got to tell you, it was a tussle. It was a scuffle. It was a kerfuffle.
Wow.
It was a brouhaha. It was a melee.
So you got to
Wait a minute, I got to turn the page on my thesaurus here.
Don't you have to
Hard do while
wonder
you're
a little
holding
bit
the
about
phone.
the integrity of the hotel, saying, you guys are welcome back after the big melee that happened 3
Well,
months ago?
I gotta say, there is trepidation dripping from the trees here in Clare. They're worried about another return of the Republican Party. They're actually quite grateful that it could have been worse. But as you might know, Cops and Donuts is right across the street,
Oh,
so
geez.
police got here very fast.
Remember seeing the sign on the
Okay.
highway, yes.
Okay.
All right. They say,
And they're prepared. These guys are ready for it. I mean, they're actually going to set up a Cops and Donuts substation in the Hotel Doherty if the Republicans show up again.
Right, and so, and I guess we should remind folks. So, as was related, Mark DeYoung, who's the chairman of the Clare County Republican Party, said he was attacked by Wayne County Republican James Chapman.
Yes.
And let me quote
And
him.
can I tell you something there? If you combine those names together, you get Mark Chapman. Coincidence?
I don't know.
Probably.
You're reaching.
Yeah.
So DeYoung,
Well, I'm a little nervous, guys. I've never done a live broadcast from a war zone before.
you are
got a helmet on,
You
or
are
what?
keeping safe, right? The helmet, flak jacket. But to quote DeYoung, as he told the Detroit News, "quote He kicked me in my balls as soon as I opened the door."
Okay, I got to be a little bit more. I know you want the children and the women to plug their ears, but he actually, I think, in one recount said he was kicked in the cojones.
So
I like that better.
yeah, it's a little classier.
and then
Well,
Chapman then says he says DeYoung swung at him first, and he says, "When you see me taking my glasses off, I'm ready to rock."
Oh, that's a throwdown. And these are people in the same party, so that's what's so odd about this.
And so DeYoung is going to be pressing charges and so on and so forth. But this is really
Well, the
called.
police were supposed to look at it. Yeah,
Right,
it was pretty bad. He supposedly got a broken rib, a broken tooth.
Are there any holes
Who
in the
knows what happened
drywall?
to the? I have not been able to find those yet, but I did. I'm a good reporter. I found a person here, and I interviewed her extensively. She's an employee here.
Oh.
Unfortunately, she had the day off that day, so she wasn't here. But she did talk to 18 people who gave her second and third hand stories. So I'm pretty well equipped
Excellent.
Accurate stuff.
I got everything you need.
All right. So, putting aside the details of the actual kerfuffle, what does this say, though? I think more about the party, its leadership, and its direction right now.
Okay, leadership you're using in a very loose term, I suspect. But no, they were meeting here because the head of the party won't let anybody know how much money they have or how much money they're spending. And then
Hey, wait a minute. That's what John does with the podcast.
Wait a minute. I'm
Okay,
gonna kick you
so
in the
John
cojones.
Kerr could be head of a state Republican Party, and they had the meeting because she got elected on the basis platform of transparency.
Right.
So when people showed up, they shut and locked the doors.
Well, and she actually fired Matt Johnson, who was
This is Karamo's,
he was
right?
the head of this is Karamo, Christina Karamo, the head of the Republican Party in Michigan. She fired Matt Johnson, who was the Budget Committee chair for the state Republican Party. Johnson
Finances, that's what I say.
Johnson has since said that that basically, as the budget committee chair, he came into a meeting and said, our biggest line item is salaries, and we need to bring the salaries in line.
You're fired. That saves a lot of money.
That's right. And so the minute he brought up, we need to bring executive salaries in line with, income coming in, she was like, you may now leave. So
Is this kind of like your show? Because the executive salaries are the biggest line item. And
I don't like this entire conversation.
I think you guys are pushing it a little bit as a little bit tough on the GOP.
Okay.
Because this is not unlike any other business or like a rock band. When like Steven Tyler and Joe Perry fought all the time. And look what happened to Journey. Steve Perry went off, and now Neil Sean and all the others are fighting over the money. Jonathan Cain and stuff like that. So
right.
it's, and they do it behind closed doors most of the time until social media reaches out, and then it gets out into the news. So I don't know if it's any different than anything else, except for the throwing of the punches and the kicking in the cojones.
Well, I got to say, some people are trying to make advantage of this. I mean, they got a bar here called the Leprechaun Bar, and they've added a new drink.
Are you there now?
Well, I can't. It would be unsafe for me to disclose my location.
Got it.
Yeah, I see.
But I have checked their menu out. They do have a new drink. It's called the Mega Mule.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, you get 2 drinks. You feel like you've been kicked in the cojones.
Hey-o.
Did you start writing it on Monday?
I did. This thing. I got a million of them.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, Rick.
But I guess to sort of wrap things up, in the sense that we can make fun of all this stuff, which we have, because there's a lot to make fun of, but. The bottom line for any party is to win elections. What is the point of a state party if it's not putting candidates forth and giving them the resources and tools they need to win elections? And by every metric, this party is not doing it.
Well, that's a good point. And seriously, they're going to get candidates out and stuff. I mean, they picked the person to run the party who got clobbered in her only statewide election. So
an election she refuses to concede, by the way. She still says and alleges there was widespread, fraud. And
she also thinks if you have sex before marriage, that leads to pedophilia.
Right. There's a lot. Like there's a lot to go in there.
But beyond that, the party doesn't pick or choose winners. I mean, if Mike Rogers comes back and runs for the U.S. Senate, he'll have an organization and money. But what the party can do, just what you're talking about, provide some structure, some organization, voting lists, some fundraising. They definitely got to do fundraising, but there are things you can do to provide some structure to help your candidates win parties or win races, which is what you're supposed to do. And boy, right now in summer of 2023, they seem to show no signs of it.
I think it'll be interesting if Rogers does enter the ring a little bit. I'd love to have him on the show because he has been a friend of ours. As far as coming on the air,
it would be one of the best races in the country. Rogers against Slotkin.
But I agree in terms of if there's any one candidate that I think Alyssa Slotkin would be wary of in terms of running for U.S. Senate, it's Mike Rogers. For sure, he would be a very competitive candidate. But at this current juncture, I do not see Mike Rogers winning the GOP primary.
He would have the. I just don't know if anybody else could come in. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but boy,
I don't know if you don't. This is Donald Trump's party. If you don't get in line, and Mike Rogers has been, not openly hostile to Trump, but he's certainly been critical.
Hasn't been a fan.
He's been clearly critical, and he came out early and said that Trump was wrong about the election, and you have to say you believe the election was stolen.
That's kind of where I'm going. Well, I guess time will tell on that. So
time will tell. You took my line away.
You got another week to figure out a new line.
All right. So what war zone will you be in next week?
Well, I go with the news takes.
All right.
Okay. So, Hartman, got it.
Is Mackinac Island fudge real fudge? Rich Perlberg will have the answer.
You got it.
All right, thanks.
All right, Rich, have a good week.
This is Rich Perlberg reporting live, and I'll let you know.
What we're doing with the history lesson too is very similar to what John has done with the news. We're just taking some of the bigger stories, the bigger headlines for this week in history. On this week in 1804, the United States' first Secretary of the Treasury, a man named Alexander Hamilton, was killed by Vice President Aaron Burr in a duel, and it made a great play.
Well, musical.
Musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that really does tie in
To all this
You're
fighting
right.
amongst
I guess
the
there's
parties,
nothing
see?
new to. I mean,
And that was 1804.
there was no duel at the Doherty.
Well, they didn't have swords.
You know,
that we know of, unless they're little sticks in the drinks.
If they would have had a duel, that would have been a better thing. The duel at the Doherty.
Little plastic swords.
Instead of the Flare and
Right.
Clare. The Flare and Clare doesn't really.
Yeah.
That sounds like a pride parade. Anyway.
Where's somebody shooting off fireworks? 1852, July 12th, so that was this week, is recognized as Paper Bag Day. Yes. Millions of people use paper bags every day. Sometimes they use plastic at the stores because they don't choose the paper. Of course, it's recyclable and everything else. Margaret E. Knight became known as the mother of the grocery bag. And this, what did Margaret do to become the mother
What did she
of
do?
the grocery bag? She invented the flat bottom.
Flat bottom girls.
Flat bottom Maggie, they called her.
That bottom girl.
That's a different song altogether.
1922, high heel shoes were introduced. And you know who
like
wore them?
that.
Men.
Cougar.
I'm just kidding. I don't know who the first to wear high heel shoes was, but it was probably on a dare. Go for it. I don't know if it was stilettos, but higher heeled shoes. Which brings us to 1975 and John King and his platforms.
No, I did not have platforms.
You
I
didn't have platforms?
did have moon boots, though.
Well, they were close.
Which I used
moon
to
boots.
pretend to be in Kiss.
We're getting to the disco era.
Okay.
1960, the first Etch-a-Sketch went on sale. Over 50 million Etch-a-Sketch were sold over the next 25 years, from 1960 to 85. And who could do the Etch-a-Sketch well in this room?
Not me.
Or if your brother did a good design, and what would you do?
Shake it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
Tom.
could do the little squares.
a square, kind of work your way to the middle.
Exactly. Look what I did.
Like you're building a corn maze out in
My
Fowlerville.
dad would be like, yeah, great.
1979, the Disco Demolition Night at Comiskey Park in Chicago happened. Two Chicago radio DJs, one a former Detroit DJ.
Hold on. We have to. Hey, let's keep it down out there.
Yeah. We got a show going on
What's
over here.
going on here? Okay.
Gosh,
was
all
a
our
little
fans are like,
People are just, these
I know.
fans all.
They hear
crowding
that
the
we're
doorway.
here and they're like all over the windows. And
So the deal was 1979 for the Disco Sucks Night was that in between doubleheader between the White Sox and the Detroit Tigers, the chance Disco Sucks, millions of records were burned,
Right.
and thus leading to the doubleheader being canceled for the second game of the doubleheader, and
Right.
then the Tigers win by default.
And it was one of
was
Sparky
forfeited.
Anderson's first games as Tiger manager. And I remember a lot of people were like, well, that's no way to take a win, to have him forfeit. And Sparky's like, a win's a win. We're out of here.
In the record books, it's just going to be a W. Nobody's going to know.
And I just remember even then, as a Tiger fan, a long-suffering Tiger fan, I was like, I love it. A win's a win. That's what we need.
I'm going to burn my disco records.
Right.
They should do this every night. And finally, 2019, this week, Mattel announced a new collectible Barbie doll inspired by David Bowie's signature Ziggy Stardust fashion. It's dubbed Barbie as Bowie. Doll was dressed in the late singer's glam rock alter ego, complete with
What?
red platform
What?
boots, topped with a fiery red mouth.
What, they're grooming children? It
was Mattel.
I mean, what is going on here? You know, that Barbie movie's coming out
It is.
this month.
Well, it's
next
being
week.
released. I don't know if you want to put that coming out with.
Ken,
It'll hit
Ken is
theaters.
coming out with Barbie.
I think we all suspected Ken anyway.
All right, didn't we? So here's the thing: I was with my family the other day at Cold Stone, and they had the Barbie.
You got Barbie ice
And I was
cream or
like,
what?
That looks kind of good. So I was like, you know what? Give me the Barbie. And I'm securing my manhood, and I sat there and I
I'll
ate my
take the
Barbie
Bar-
ice cream. It was all pink and marshmallows.
No, this is pretty. No pictures of that on
It was
social
very
media. Huh?
good. I got diabetes afterwards, but that's all right.
So that's your 2-cent history lesson for today. And, when we talk history, sometimes JD in his Tossback trivia leads us into some pretty strange places, and he's lingering out in the hall as we speak. He was one of the noisemakers, by the way.
He was. So before we talk to JD, and maybe if your car is a noisemaker.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
You're smooth, man. Even in the new location, you're just boom.
Right. On it. You got to get to Murphy's Family Auto. Of course, they will take care of your vehicle, and they are the place to go. Give them a call, 517-552-3040, murphysfamilyauto.com. And
Gear up for those summer trips. Get the AC. Make sure it's ready to go.
Right. 5% off if you tell Mike and John sent you. And they're open Saturdays 8 to 1. Murphy's Family Auto. And, of course, we appreciate the support from Dennis and Glenn and the whole gang over there at Murphy's Family Auto.
And now it's time for JD's Tossback Trivia as JD sits on John's lap. For this edition.
Come on in. All right. Here we go.
JD, welcome to the new digs.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome, sir.
And he's wearing his Tiger jersey in honor of that forfeit win.
Yeah.
Disco Demolition Night. I remember that well.
Remember that? Yeah. That was a Steve Dahl, the DJ at the Chicago radio station.
I think it was WLS, if I remember.
Okay.
The Loop, maybe? Something like that. LUP.
Which, worked out well if you're trying to make headlines.
And now you have DJs that used to burn those records announcing those records on the radio.
Well, that's true too, isn't it?
All right, JD, what do you got for us today?
All right. Well, I figured in honor of the Gigo team moving up from the basement into the east side of Genoa Township.
Oh, I got this one.
Look at that.
We're going to test your knowledge about the Jeffersons.
Oh,
Right.
all right. I don't know, Mr. J.
I like the Jeffersons too. All right. So yes, the Jeffersons, which ran from Generation X cringing, 1975 to 85.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Archie and Edith Bunker's neighbor, working class Queens, New York, they moved to the luxurious Colby East. It's a fictitious high-rise apartment complex.
In the sky.
Deluxe.
On what street of Manhattan?
Oh.
Was it 32nd or 33rd, 43rd, 63rd, or 83rd? It is actually in the credits
I was
as
going to
it's.
say,
You can see the sign.
Okay.
The deluxe apartment in the sky.
I'm going to go with 32nd.
Was it
33rd?
33rd?
All three.
33rd.
I'm thinking it's 33rd.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 83rd. I think you guys saw the numbers wrong on the street.
Nice. It is 63rd.
Oh, you were closer. All right.
It is 63rd. 33rd is where Statue of Liberty is on 33rd.
Yeah.
Closer to Bellevue.
Wasn't that out in the harbor? I don't know New York like the back of my hand, but I know it's not on the street.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Empire State Building.
Okay.
Empire State Building.
Thank you.
Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
Sorry.
Show off.
All right. So by the time they moved to Manhattan, George is up to 3 dry cleaning stores.
I'm doing my George Jefferson walk.
Yeah,
Right, three dry cleaning stores.
Three dry cleaning
Okay.
stores. The first store he bought with $5,000. Where did he get the $5,000?
Oh.
Did he borrow it from Mother Jefferson?
George.
Did he get from lottery or raffle winnings?
George.
Was he hit by a bus?
Where's Louise? Okay, you guys play the game.
Good old Mother Jefferson. All right, so you got to start over.
How do you get the money? Give us a choice.
Where did George get
Yeah.
$5,000 to buy his first dry cleaning store?
Calgary.
Okay.
Did he borrow it from Mother Jefferson? No editorial. Hit by a bus, lottery or raffle ticket winnings, or did he really scrimp and save all that money?
Yeah.
Let's let Susan go first.
Okay.
It was an episode in All in the Family of how he did this.
Right. What do you think?
Gosh, I don't remember that. I didn't watch All in the Family that much, so I'm going to have to just say scrimp and save.
Okay.
I think he won it from a raffle or lottery.
I think Mother Jefferson gave it to him.
Gave you the opportunity. George, where's my money?
I don't know if that's right, but it was an opportunity to do my
The episode
very
in
full
All in the
impression.
Family is "Oh My Aching Back." He was rear-ended by a bus, and he sued the bus
You know what?
company and got $5 grand.
I should have known better because if it was on All in the Family, then Mother Jefferson wouldn't have been, because she wasn't featured until the show was on. All right. Okay.
Could've been,
We're
yeah,
0 for 2 here.
All right.
Over to all three of you.
All right.
We really were confident about this,
I
too.
know,
We were loving it. Just the
better.
theme song.
Should
All
have
right,
known better.
Marla Gibbs portrayed the role of the Jeffersons, back-talking, tough, wisecracking,
Housekeeper.
Love
very religious housekeeper. But she often teased George about his height and his lack of hair. What was her name?
Oh, I
Was she Florence Johnston,
Oh, I see.
Florence Johnson, Olivia Johnson, or Helen Johnston?
Florence Johnson.
Okay.
I think it's Florence Johnson, too.
I think it's Florence Johnston.
John's got it.
Yeah.
Florence Johnson.
Is that
You
a
beat us
feeling?
by a T.
feeling.
That
All right. I'm in charge now.
All right. John is has a commanding lead,
Oh,
1-0. Like a forfeit at demolition night.
All right. A win's a win.
All right. Harry Bentley, the amiable, very kind, loyal next door neighbor, the British guy. Yes, Mr. J, Mrs. J. Louise made friends with Tom and Helen Willis. Their daughter married Lionel. But there was also a tip-hungry doorman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of the doorman?
Oh, boy.
Was
I can
it
see
Neil Wertmer, Ralph Hart, Danny Wells, or Carlton Smith?
I'm going to go with Ralph.
It wasn't Carl.
It wasn't Carlton.
Carlton.
It was
Different
Carlton,
show.
the
It was
doorman.
Ralph.
I go Ralph, too. Yeah.
I'm going to go Ralph.
It was Ralph.
Shouldn't have had that for breakfast.
Neil Wertmer was the actor who played Ralph. Danny Wells was the bartender down the street. Every time they had a party, they were at the bar down the road.
Wasn't the
Okay.
Regal Beagle.
And yes, wasn't the Regal
Our
Beagle.
network.
And yes, we know that
I don't
Carlton.
even know the network.
Well, yeah. Jefferson's was CBS. Three's Company was ABC. Monday night, 9 o'clock.
Sounds like a walking TV book.
Yeah, St. Carlton was, of course, from Rhoda.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well done, Jeff.
John,
So I take the win.
Yeah.
All right.
John has crushed it.
Do you want to do a victory lap?
2-1.
You know what? Why don't you go out in the hall and take a victory lap? Susan and I will finish up.
Yeah, we're done.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I always
person,
appreciate
too.
that. And are you off to scrimmage or?
The Tigers might be able to use
I was just gonna say.
They have shortstops pitching now, so I guess it really doesn't matter what position you play.
Yeah, what the heck? That's okay.
All right.
All right, JD. Thanks. And knowing
Thank you, sir.
when it comes to entertainment, our friends at the Dio take care of us too. From time to time, Steve gives us tickets to give away to different shows, of course, with dinner and the show.
Right. If you're looking for a unique night out, look no further than the Dio Dining and Entertainment, Livingston County's multi-award winning dinner theater. Whether it's date night or the celebration of a special event, the Dio offers an unforgettable night of food and live Broadway-style entertainment that is sure to earn you a standing ovation. Visit diotheater.com for tickets and show information.
I was standing.
Nice.
While you were showing the Dio sign there. All right, Susan. When it comes to entertainment, Susan always comes up with some unique stuff.
Absolutely. So this time I came across this mathematician. It came
That doesn't say
Just
nerd
on the
at all.
sidewalk, or, you know.
You're a
from King's College in London.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
King's
Fancy.
Oh, you
Her
got
name
college.
is Sophie McLean.
Sophie.
And Sophie wanted to come, create, I guess, the world's ultimate swear word.
Oh.
How old is Sophie? It sounds just because Sophie doesn't sound like a young person.
No, well, I'm assuming she's probably our age.
Oh,
So young and
she's
vibrant.
Anyway,
Go on.
go on.
Do tell.
As I was saying, so she wanted to input these bad words into an algorithm that would take that data
Nerd.
and come up with the ultimate swear word.
Yeah.
Now, does
There
this
is.
combine letters from swear words we already use and know and love?
Yes. And she actually put in 188 bad words.
Really?
I'm not a mathematician, but that's a lot.
I don't know if I know that many, and I thought I was pretty good at
I think
swearing.
I know like 5.
That's
Yeah,
just
we just go with the top 5.
I go through about 170 if like the remote doesn't work. So I can see that.
Well, so interestingly, also, I found that studies have shown, the people that do studies.
Oh,
you know
those
those
study
people, yeah.
people, yeah.
So the people who do
They're nerds,
studies
too.
have shown that the people who swear more often
Yeah.
are of the more intellectual.
Oh, look at you. You're a genius, John.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's about time someone
Somebody
recognized my genius.
I'm a swearer. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
So what
they
was the
also
word?
show that. Wait, I'm not done.
I'm sorry.
They also show that if you do swear during stressful situations, that you have this coping skill that gets you through that.
So-
the next time
What if
you
you swear during sex?
that's not a
Coping or?
stressful situation.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
So you want to
you know-
know what the word is?
What's the word?
Sure, that's what the women say.
All right. So the ultimate swear word is banger.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Banger.
I hardly even know her.
I knew it was coming, yeah.
Banger.
But I.
Well, isn't that is kind of more of an English thing?
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
banger.
yeah, yeah.
Isn't it like a partier or a rocker?
That's
that kind
what
of thing?
I was thinking,
But now
yeah.
it's a swear word.
Yeah.
So.
So the next time you're driving and you're frustrated or you stub that pinky toe on the coffee table, banger.
It's
Or you could just say grr.
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 Yeah,
If you
kids
know
are around.
you're a habitual swearer and daily, grr.
Okay.
all right. So that's the ultimate swear word.
Grr.
Look, you're swearing in front of the kids.
I'm sorry.
Susan, come on.
Don't repeat that.
Cora, don't repeat that. Tell it, and your sister
Shut that
tell it. No.
All right, now we know.
Yeah, we do.
All right, well, thank you. Entertainment break brought to
Absolutely.
you by the Dio Theater.
You know, and one of the things we want to remind everybody before we get to the Great Bonnie Runyan is about the Mike and John Got It Going On team for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. We've gotten new members, and we'd love to have you join our walk team. $40 donation. Even if you walk or don't walk, you will get one of our Mike and John Got It Going On and Walk to End Alzheimer's purple tees. They're designed by our friend Nikki at Spirit of Livingston. They look great, fit great. Nice soft cotton. You ever give it the feel test? Kind of like this.
Got all the
this
feels.
This one is not the same material.
Yeah, you're
this-
not. Yeah.
This one is.
Stop touching my shirt.
I got the feels.
So not on camera anyway.
So, yes, if you go to mikeandjohnpodcast.com, you'll see the link towards the top there that will take you to our Team Got It Going Up sign-up page, or Team Got It Going On. The Team Got It Going Up page, I don't know. I'm not sure who those folks are. That's the Gigu. That's the Gigu team. But want to thank Nancy Filardo. Recently joined the team, making a very generous donation, and
Nice.
she'll be getting her own walk shirt here.
Wonderful.
We'll see.
All right.
So,
So you
very
can do the
nice.
same. Details are available on our website. We do have a website still, right?
It's
Even when we moved?
mikeandjohnpodcast.com. Oh, yeah, the website stayed right where it was.
It didn't move with
it's
us.
right there on the webs, the interwebs area.
Didn't go anywhere?
No, it did not.
Just checking.
All right.
All right. The great Bonnie Runyan is going to join us with the word of the day, Bonnie's thoughts,
It's sort of the last word with Bonnie. That's what we're...
if she remembers that we're calling a little later than usual.
So,
Yeah.
Bonnie?
Well, good morning. This is Bonnie Runberg.
See, I told you she changed her name. Sorry about that, Bonnie. I just got so nervous. I combined you and Rich.
If I was listening to your podcast.
Yeah, we're testing you.
All right, so Bonnie, we're going to come to you at the end of each show and give you the final word of the day.
Oh, hallelujah.
Is that the word?
No, okay. Final word of the day is going to be family.
Oh.
Okay.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Now, why family?
My granddaughter and my bonus grandson are in my house playing cards with me from Chile.
Oh, really?
And they get to listen to your podcast
Oh.
in Chile.
How about that?
They'll be going home soon.
We're big in Chile.
So, well, that's very cool.
So are you playing a Chilean card game or?
No, we're teaching knit hand and foot.
Oh, I've never heard
What
of
is
that.
what is hand and foot?
Is that like
Okay.
pinnacle?
Foot is the modern day version of canasta.
Oh,
Ah, canasta.
the old
Yeah,
canasta.
see, now that does sound like an old-timey
Yeah.
card game.
So
We're
you
going
got-
to play canasta.
you have to update it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you call it hand and foot.
I love hand and foot. My favorite game of hand and foot is 5 people. When you play with 5 people, when you get the bid, you call for 1 card. And the first one after you that has that card, you and them are partners, and the other 3 are against you.
Oh,
So you never know, going up, going down, you never know.
Okay.
all right.
Well, there you go. The final word of the day today is family, courtesy of Bonnie Runyan.
All
Or
right,
Runberg. I mean Runyan.
Right.
Bonnie, have a great week. We'll talk to you next Friday.
I will, and I'm blessed to still be connected with you, even if you're only getting together once a week.
That's okay. We would not miss you for the world.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you next week,
Thanks,
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Bye, Bonnie.
All right. Well, we've wrapped up our.
First show in the new location, and the movers are here to kick us out.
Yeah. So,
They're like, no, changed our
These guys are
mind.
too loud.
like, oh my God, we had no idea.
We didn't think it was going to be like that.
Never shut up.
We'll be back next week, too, and be looking for trivia questions starting again Sunday night.
Right,
on
and
our Facebook page.
next week we'll be joined by Barb Binkley. Will be
nice.
here, and she'll be talking about the toy drive that you mentioned
it's
earlier.
like a Christmas in July kind of
Right,
thing, a toy drive
right.
in July.
So
So
looking
we'll have
forward
all
to
the
that.
details. She'll tell us more and in a more eloquent way than I could ever do.
You got no
You
doubt
could have
about
disagreed
that.
a little bit on that.
There's no point.
Say goodbye, John.
All right, goodbye, John.
Goodbye, John.
With Mike and John. Tune in next time and giggle on.